Hello and welcome to an InkDependence.com brief video review and water drop test. Today, the very fancy lilac. This is Lamy Dark Lilac, which is only actually said there on the back on this label. So you'd think they would mention it somewhere else, but they don't. This is brand new ink from Lamy, and people are really hyped about this ink. So I don't generally do purples. Of course, I say that all the time, and then I end up liking the darn purple. So maybe just one of these days I got to admit I like purple sometimes. So I got some cartridges. I passed up the chance to get a bottle or two, but I'm sure it'll come around. People are treating this as if it's a limited supply ink, but I think they're going to make it all year. So I wouldn't freak out too much. Now, if somebody has like firm information to the contrary, please let me know. But look, this is a cool ink, but it's not going away tomorrow. So it'll be fine. You'll be okay. Here's what it looks like, and that's this. I'm having to do this indoors, and I'm having to do it in a light tent, which is not ideal, I don't think, for showing off the awesome quality of this ink. One thing that's very cool about this ink, and also light tent doesn't give me any room to do video, so, there you go. It's going to shake a little bit every once in a while. Let's see, can I get some actual light on that? I don't know, it's too diffuse maybe. Let's see, let's check it out here. Yeah, you can't really miss it there. So this is a deep, deep purple ink. And it's got a ton of gold sheen if you put it down heavily enough. Now, I have seen people with folded nib pens. Carrie from Fountain Pen Day has posted some things like that, and it looks pretty awesome on good paper with a folded nib, which puts down a ton of ink, like a gusher, a mountain of ink. A mountain? No, a river of ink. That's a thing. And this is, of course, a smear that I've done with I shook some out of the cartridge because I only got cartridges from that little box. And so I've just had it in some pens. And in fact, I've only had it in Lamy pens because, well, it's a Lamy cartridge and they don't fit in anything else. So I haven't been able to use this with anything like real exotic, but I don't know, I guess it is an oblique medium. That's kind of an interesting nib, which is this one right here. Lamy does make some black nibs. You'll have seen those around. But they also make this oblique medium, which you can kind of see has a foot. So it's shorter on the left tine than it is on the right. And this is for people like me who hold their pens a bit wrong when they write. And so sometimes stubs are a little bit wonky for me. Architect nibs I found out are bad for me because I can't write them. But the stubs usually work out okay. Just they look like what other people use when they write an architect or something like that, I guess. Anyways, I had this in a 1.1 stub from Lamy, and I also had it in the oblique medium. I don't think you can get the oblique nibs anymore. They're kind of gone. They stopped making those, unfortunately. So if you see one, snap it up, because it's my favorite Lamy nib. I really love that thing. But if you write like a normal person, that is, with the pen, like, I don't know, straight, like this way to the, how can I do it on video? Like that. I tend to write like this. And so the oblique medium is perfect for me. So anyway, if you write like that, like me, and are a bit weird that way, oblique is really maybe the way to go for you. So anyway, this has got a cool gold sheen to it. People love that. If you have a really wet pen, it'll show up. Otherwise, it's not really going to show up too well. And in fact, on Rhodia, it doesn't actually show up that well. So I was trying to get this to sort of sheen in the light, but there's really only sheen right around here. Like, just a little bit around the pools of the edges of the pools. So I don't know. Like, it's not super sheeny, although it does definitely have sheen if you put it down enough. That said, on the rest of this normal writing sample, I don't really see any sheen. Like, just looking at it right now, I don't really see any. I mean, there's probably a few glints here and there, but unless you're into like bright sunlight would do it. Unfortunately, it's been raining for like the last 3 days here in North Carolina, and is going to be raining for the rest of the week. So I'm turning this in a light tent. Check out the blog, InkDependence.com, for the review of this. It has all kinds of pictures taken out in bright sunlight. I should have done the video that day, but I didn't. I forget why. Maybe it started raining? I don't remember. Anyway, it clouded up and I didn't get the video done. So, c'est la vie. Let's see. It does have some very light bleed through from the 1.1 nib, as I say there, in terms of performance. It's, where is it? There we go. So you can see both of these do pretty well, and actually the 1.1 looks a little bit different, I think, than the oblique medium. Let's see, this is the 1.1 right here, this more angular script, and then this here is the oblique medium, which is a little bit more roundy, because the nib is still round, it's just slanted. Oh no, I just lost the lamp. Oh man, if Audrey watches this, she's going to know I was doing this in her light tent. and messing up her lights. Don't tell her. Nobody tell. Oh no. Pause. Okay, everything's fine again. I pulled the plug out of the darn thing. So anyway, we're back. So anyway, as I was showing you, there's some minor like feathering and stuff from the stub nib. I don't really know why exactly. I've heard people say that if you use a stub nib that's kind of sharp, it will cut across the grain in the paper, and that'll make it feather. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's just hand oil or something. But this one didn't really feather, and that one did. So I don't know. It's going to really depend on your nib and on your pen. And as you can see here on the back, this is the 1.1 nib, which to me always feels a little bit drier, but it bled through here, so it's kind of strange. It could also be that this is just inconsistent paper, but if you look below that, the next one doesn't bleed. So I don't know, man. This ink is kind of, it could go either way, and it's going to heavily depend on your nib and your paper. So keep that in mind when picking a pen and a nib to use this cool ink in. All right. So let's see what else. I was talking about how I like this ink and how it looks kind of cool. And it's a very different purple than some of the other ones around. So I have made some like little scratches down here, but this is a pair of purples that I've only just gotten, and both of them are very cool, but for very different reasons. So the Dark Lilac, as you can see here, it could darn near get away as a black if you use, a regular nib that's got a little bit of, it's a little bit wet. And then there's like the gold sheen and all that, but then there's this Sites Kruznak. Sites Kruznak? That's the way it looks to me anyway, off the top of my head. Which is an ink brand that I had never heard of before, and somebody brought it to the Fountain Pen Club meeting where we were doing ink swaps, and it comes in like it looks like a brandy bottle or something. It's a very interesting ink, but it's also kind of a beautiful purple. It's called Dark Orchid. It's not very dark, really. Like, it's dark for an orchid, I suppose, maybe, but it's definitely not as dark as this Dark Lilac, which is way darker than my actual lilacs outside, but it's like this beautiful, soft purple. And I really dig it, so I might have to get a bottle of that. It's also not super expensive, so check that out. You can find it on Amazon. I don't know anybody in the U.S. Like individual sellers that sell this stuff, but it's cool. All right, so there's that. Let's get that out of the way. Here are some. Zoom in a piece. As I said, I'm working with like a limited space, so forgive me a little bit. This dark lilac at the top is looking real dark on my little phone screen. The Sites Kruznak is right under that. I've got Cross Blue Black and Noodler's Bay State Blue, which always looks a little bit purpley to me. Although after it dries, it turns this blue. So when it goes down, it always feels kind of purple, like it's a little bit, not lavender. Like this is more lavender, I think, but it always goes down like a little bit of a purpley blue. Anyway, I've got those there as a comparison. I don't have a whole lot of purples inked up at any one time, so that's that. All right. Now let's see if I can get this. I have to aim down. There we go. Yeah, that'll do it for the water test. Good. All right, seeing some of the side of my light tint here, but that's the way it goes. All right. So let me get this in here. Do this water test. Oh no. All right. Big needle got out of control. Mop up a little bit of a spill here, but there's a lot of purple swirling away. Was not at all surprised. Once you see the chromatography, you'll be like, oh yeah, no wonder I wasn't surprised. This is not a water-resistant ink. Oh man, it just fouled up my black poster board here. Oh no. All right, anyway, so let's let that sit long enough. Let's go ahead and mop it up carefully. Yes. There we go. Good. Good. Not even a mess. All right, so there you can see a ton of it came off, and there's not a whole lot left, and what's left is not particularly readable. So this one is not at all water resistant, I wouldn't say. You'll have a little bit of something left over, but it's not very impressive, and not going to call this one water resistant at all. So there you go. All right, let's get this out of the way right quick. Take a look at the chromatography. Yeah. That is right here. So, as you'll see in the video to the left, as it's as it's going there, I started out down here, and there's really just a hint of pink left over. So, yeah, not a lot left there, but it does have some very nice tones in there. Like, so there's a little bit of like red or maroon in the middle. Of course, there's like trails of pink. like deep purple and blackish stuff up at the top. So this is a very interesting and kind, like moderately complex ink, I would say, and you know, pretty good. So this has been Lamy's Dark Lilac. Let's just use this here since it's right here. Actually, I did 2 of these cards. There you go. Actually, since I have cards sitting here, let's take a look at a few of those. This is, of course, the same ink on 2 different cards. This one obviously didn't get as much ink put down as this one did, so it's got less gold. But here you see more gold, so there's that. Let me back out a little bit. And what's close? Let's see, there's Organic Studio Jane Austen. It's one of the Organic Studios I actually like quite a bit. It's kind of a nice flat purple, though. It doesn't have any sheen. What else is close? Anderson Pen's Wood Violet is also kind of close, although it's much more matte. There you see that. Now, you can still get that on the Anderson Pen's website. I don't think they're having any more made, so if you like this purple, go for it. There you go. It's also far more matte than the other. Let's see what else we have here. This is a beautiful one. If you like just a violet, Cassia from Rohrer and Klingner is a very it reminds me of violets so much. My mom had violets when I was growing up. That's what I think about. There's Amethyst from Pelican. There's Diatramentus Aubergine. There's Ebony Purple. Nah, not really. Where's the one that's super close? This one. This one's actually pretty darn close, although it's a different tone of purple. You can see the difference there in the the lighter bit. Here, let me show you this one. It's got more of the purple, but it's a different tone. This one's more blue, I think, but still cool. Ackerman 13, which is not really that close, I guess. So, I mean, Lamy Dark Lilac is a pretty sweet ink if you are into a purple. So, anyway, that's gone on long enough. I am Mike. This is Lamy's Dark Lilac. Get it while you can and where you can. I always suggest folks like Anderson Pens or Pen Boutique or Pen Chalet. But you know, keep an eye out for where you can find this ink because it's not super common. It's kind of hard to find actually, and the hype train. This hype train is actually moving pretty hard. So you're going to have to work, I guess, to get this ink for a little while. Eventually it'll calm down, but for right now it's going to be in short supply. I hear more is coming in like May from various distributors. So anyway, there's that. So if you like this blog and you say, hey, I want to support Mike, one thing you can do to support Mike and Ink Dependence is go to patreon.com/inkdependence to figure out how to set up a recurring monthly donation. It's real easy. They'll take your information. They'll do it for you as long as you want. It could be $1. It could be $50 a month, whatever you like. I do it by the month and not by the review because sometimes my reviews are a little bit the spacing isn't even, and so I don't want to overwhelm people. So anyway, there you go. This is Lamy Dark Lilac. Get you some while you can. Peace out.